Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's free live training. I am so happy that you're here, whether you're here for the replay or you're showing up live today. I'm always so glad to see everyone here. Today we're talking about, relatedly, we're talking about the balancing act. So how do we fit all of these things in? How do we harmonize rest, activity, healing, and our to-do list while still feeling better from chronic pain? If you have ever felt like you're doing everything that you can to manage your pain, but then at the end of the day you're still feeling drained, then this is the exact training that you need right now. Maybe you start the day full of resolve, you push through work despite the pain, but you're just honestly too exhausted at the end of the day, maybe even to enjoy dinner with your family. So you collapse into bed, you feel overwhelmed with guilt because now you've missed out on these moments that matter the most. And that is really hard. Maybe you, and I have clients tell me this sometimes too, like maybe you have spent the day avoiding activity entirely. You're worried about flaring things up, but by evening, the inactivity leaves you feeling stiff, isolated, more hopeless than ever. And you think, is this all there is to my life now? And so if you're feeling that way, it's really common. And today I'm going to share how finding balance between rest, activity, and healing can help you break free from this exhausting cycle, no matter what that cycle looks like for you. When we can make these small intentional changes, we can really start to reclaim energy for the things that truly matter to us and start to feel more in control of our life and our recovery. And so for those of you who are new to my world, my name is Dr. Anna Redmond. I'm a 15-year pain psychologist. I'm a chronic pain strategist for women. I help high achieving women accelerate their recovery from chronic pain. So if you're here, it's likely because you've been stuck in that push-pull of overworking and crashing, or maybe fear of doing activities and unable to build your activity. Or maybe you avoid activity altogether out of fear because you make things worse. And I have been there, and today I'll show you a better way. Before we dive in, I, as always, would love to invite you to book a call with me if you already know that you're ready to explore how my education and my strategy can benefit you personally within your own experience of pain and your lifestyle. So that link is here in the comments. And honestly, I call this a pain recovery diagnostic call. It's a 30-minute call, and during that time, we figure out what's going on, where you're stuck, and how you can finally move forward. And I think worst case scenario, you show up to the call, and you have some validation, you've experienced some empathy, you've had a conversation with someone about your experience, and that feels good, and maybe you leave with the next steps of a plan to start feeling better. Best case scenario, we decide that it's a good fit, it makes sense to work together, and then you kind of finally can get this transformation you've been hoping for, because now you have some high touch support and some real guidance to help you do that. So the link to book a call with me, which anyone is available to do, is totally complimentary and free, can be found in the comments. So going back to our topic today, many women really do believe that pushing through pain or completely avoiding activity is the only way to cope with pain. And sometimes we're really forced into one decision or the other because we've tried all the things and nothing worked. This isn't a surprise, right? There are many external pressures that we face that contribute to this, alongside our own internal pressures, not to mention the fear of causing a flare up. For some people, pushing through might look like gritting their teeth through work deadlines, ignoring their body's cries for rest. Maybe it's long hours at your desk, despite the aches, telling yourself, if I just finish this one thing, I'll feel accomplished. And sometimes unintentionally, I think doctors encourage perseverance with comments like, stay active, it's good for you. But friends and family commend your strength for not letting pain slow you down. And so this drives it as well. But deep down, it feels like you're on a hamster wheel. You're expending energy and there's no relief in sight. And for others, avoiding activity becomes the default response. So maybe you've been told, don't overdo it, you'll regret it later. And this is super well-meaning advice, but it might lead you to restrict your movement entirely, avoiding anything that might trigger a flare-up. And over time, you might begin to feel trapped or disconnected from the life that you want and fearful of even the smallest physical exertion. So rest becomes the only option that you trust, but it leaves you feeling stagnant and isolated. And so, as always, I'm here to tell you the truth. And I know you've had conflicting advice for years and that neither option seems to work. So the truth about balance is because recovery isn't about extremes. It's about creating a rhythm that balances both extremes, right? So both approaches, pushing through and avoiding, does keep us stuck in survival mode. So pushing through adds stress to an already overwhelmed nervous system. It perpetuates a state of high alert. Avoiding activity completely reinforces your brain's belief that movement is dangerous, amplifying its sensitivity to pain. And so these cycles feed into one another. It leaves you more exhausted, more reactive, and more disconnected from what truly matters. And recovery is not about aligning your actions with your values, recovery is about aligning your actions with your values and at the same time meeting your nervous system's need for safety and rest. So let's break down what I mean by that. Because your nervous system needs safety and healing can only happen in balance. So your nervous system needs safety. When you push through too hard, your body interprets that stress as a threat. So that amplifies pain and it can really leave you feeling on edge. So, similarly, complete inactivity, not doing anything, reinforces the brain's belief that movement is dangerous. And so, this can also keep us in a heightened state of activity. So, both extremes can drive sensitivity in the nervous system, which is the last thing we want for chronic pain. But healing happens in balance, right? So, I want you to just picture this. Instead of forcing yourself to grind through tasks, you start your day with a light stretch or a moment of mindfulness that energizes you. Midday, instead of skipping lunch to catch up on emails, you pause for a nourishing break that helps you reset. And by evening, you're not collapsing from burnout, but you're engaging with your family or enjoying a hobby that fills your cup. When we prioritize balance, we send powerful messages to our nervous system. It's safe to calm down. When your nervous system feels safe, the sensitivity decreases. Flare ups become less frequent and severe, and you can start to regain energy to focus on what truly matters. When our nervous system feels safe, it doesn't have to create as much pain to protect us. This is not just theoretical. This is not just my opinion. It's practical and it's proven and it's science. And I'm going to talk also about two client examples of how they shifted from survival mode to living with intention because I want you to know that you can as well. So one of my clients realized that she was saying yes to a ton of commitments at work, but she was able to cut back on some things, and by doing that she reduced her flare-ups and found energy to reconnect with her family. So instead of pushing through, she was able to kind of prioritize, delegate, cut back just a little bit. Maria avoided activity altogether. She feared pain, but by slowly reintroducing light movements that were aligned with things she wanted to be doing, she was able to gain some confidence and reduce her sensitivity. Neither of these were a quick fix. These clients of mine were holistic minded. They were forward thinkers. They were motivated and they were looking for a blueprint, a path, a strategy. And so, speaking of strategy, let's explore 3 of the actionable strategies that they learned along the way, including identifying energy draining activities, prioritizing value aligned actions, and establishing a daily rhythm. So, the first strategy, identifying energy draining activities. The first step to balance really is awareness. So sometimes we start by paying attention to or tracking how you spend your time and noticing which activities leave you feeling depleted or frustrated. So this can look like just kind of reflecting on your day. Are you spending hours on tasks that don't align with your values? For example, one of my clients was spending countless hours responding to emails outside of work hours, and this left her too exhausted to enjoy her evenings. Why does this matter? Energy draining activities keep your nervous system in a state of stress. They amplify pain and they reduce your ability to recover. And once you identify these activities, you can start to make real changes. So, here's what you can do. You can use a simple journal or an app to log your daily activities and just note how they make you feel, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too. Highlight the tasks that deplete you and brainstorm alternatives. Are these tasks giving you energies? But alternatives could be delegating, eliminating, or rethinking how you approach them. The second strategy, we're talking today about prioritizing value aligned actions. So, not all activities are created equal. When you prioritize actions that align with your values, they can recharge you emotionally and physically. And I would rather see you start your decision making from a place of what is important to you and what you really want, rather than on one end of the spectrum, a place of fear, and rather than on the other end of the spectrum, a place of trying to meet the expectations of others or the self-critical expectations we have of ourselves. What does this look like? Ask yourself, does this action or activity help me move closer to the life that I want? For example, I had a client realize that she spent her energy cleaning every day because she felt guilty about her home's appearance. Instead, she started focusing on spending meaningful time with her family, and she started with this. That doesn't mean she stopped cleaning. She still cleaned, but she had a better balance, and this brought her joy and reduced stress. And why does this matter? When you prioritize value aligned activities, you reduce the mental and physical strain of unnecessary tasks. This allows your nervous system to shift from a state of survival to a state of safety and healing. And so here's what you can do. You can write down your top 3 values. Maybe that's connection, creativity, or just well being. Review your activities and decide which ones align with these values. Adjust your schedule to make more room for these activities. The third and last strategy is to establish a daily rhythm. And consistency is key to creating balance. When we establish a rhythm that incorporates rest and intentional activity, it's easier to break the cycle of flare ups and burnout. So, what does this look like? This looks like you setting intentional patterns in your day, moments for rest, light movement, fulfilling tasks. One of my clients, for example, introduced light yoga in the morning to gently wake up her body. And by light yoga, I mean 3 to 5 minutes to start with. And then she followed that with 20 minutes of uninterrupted family time. She put her phone down and sat at the breakfast table with her family. And this rhythm left her feeling energized and connected. Now, I think it's important to remember when I give these examples, everybody's lives are different. Your life looks different than somebody else's, and the things you have to do and the flow of your day is different. And that's why it's so important to have, personalized guidance and support, because I know that you can read a book and get all of the strategies, right? But what's hard is how do we apply this to our unique lives, right? And that's what I help my clients with. And establishing a daily rhythm matters because a predictable rhythm reduces decision fatigue, it sends safety signals to your nervous system, and it lowers pain sensitivity. So here's what you can do. You can create a flexible schedule that alternates between work, rest, and movement, or physical activity, rest, and movement. And start small. Incorporate one new restful or active habit this week, such as a mindful lunch break or a short walk. But by implementing these 3 strategies, you can move closer to balance, you can reduce your pain sensitivity, and reclaim energy for what truly matters. In my Breaking Through Pain program, we focus on creating a personalized rhythm of rest and intentional action that directly addresses the cycles of pushing through and avoidance. This process heals by calming the nervous system, reducing pain sensitivity, and empowering you to regain control over your daily life. And here's how it works. We start with mind-body literacy, where you learn to recognize the signals that your body is sending and understand how your nervous system operates. This education allows you to break free from the belief that rest is lazy or activity will always lead to more pain. And by practicing specific techniques to shift your nervous system immediately from the start, from survival mode into a state of safety, you can already immediately reduce sensitivity and start to create that foundation for healing. The second thing we do in my program is we teach you how to align what you're doing with your values. So together we identify your core values, those things that truly matter to you, and we design daily actions that honor them. This approach helps you move from feeling reactive and overwhelmed to feeling intentional and connected, reducing the emotional and physical toll of misaligned activities. The third thing we do in my program is that we together build a sustainable rhythm. So we use tools that my clients learn throughout the program, like pacing strategies, energy mapping, structured routines to help you balance work, rest, and movement. And over time, this rhythm allows your nervous system to adapt to new positive habits, and this can make healing feel natural rather than forced. For example, a client of mine who avoided activity due to fear of pain began incorporating short, light walks while practicing breathing techniques to calm her nervous system. And within weeks, she had already felt like she was having fewer flare ups and greater confidence engaging in some of the activities her family was doing. Can you see the power in some of these approaches? So you're not just looking at life from a distance, you would be equipped with a structured, actionable framework to navigate chronic pain while preserving what matters the most to you. My method, my anti-threat system, guides you in creating a crystal clear snapshot of your day-to-day life. We're looking at and revealing the patterns and the choices that either drain or support you. And this is not about guessing what might help or just kind of pushing through, continuing on day to day. It's about pinpointing precisely where your time, your energy, and attention go and learning how to allocate those resources to manage pain sustainably. This structured perspective makes saying no or delegating tasks feel natural because your choices are now value driven. They are aligned directly with goals that truly matter to you, and you're making intentional, informed decisions that support a balanced, fulfilling life rather than feeling torn between obligations or reacting impulsively to pain or stress. Unlike typical pain management strategies that focus only on relief, this approach actually empowers you to build resilience by focusing on what actually enhances your well being. It's holistic. And it's not just motivation, it's a powerful feedback loop that solidifies new habits, reminding you that daily choices impact both your health and your happiness. So, today's teaching is just one element of my anti threat system, which is designed to empower you at every level by mastering mind body literacy, aligning your actions with your values, and establishing a healing rhythm. This anti threat system equips you to make powerful shifts that not only relieve symptoms, but create a lasting sense of balance and control. And so, if you found today's discussion insightful and you're ready to benefit from a new perspective on how to approach your day, I invite you to book a call with me. During this call, we'll dive into your current pain management strategies and identify the key areas where you can make impactful changes. We can talk about how my program and approaches such as the anti threat system and even these strategies about realigning your day with your values, how these can leverage your strengths and skills so you can break free from that cycle of temporary fixes and empower you to move forward with success. So just drop me a message in DMs. My DMs are always open. Comment book below in the comments, or you can click the calendar link I shared in the comments. Um, I'm genuinely here to help. Please don't hesitate to reach out. And also in the comments, I shared my newest free guide, which I'd love for you to check out. And, tag me in a post. Let me know how it worked for you, or let me know what you liked about it. I do not see any comments, so I am going to end for today, but I am so glad that you were all here, and I just can't wait to see you next time. Oh, and also just a quick announcement. Next week, I'm doing a rare 45-minute free live webinar. And if you want to DM me, I can send you that Zoom link or the link to get the Zoom link. And I would love to see as many of you there as possible. I want to tell you all about how you can break free from your chronic pain cycles. And I'll talk to you soon.